The upcoming full moon in Leo isn't just any full moon. It's a cosmic revelation that shakes up everything we thought we knew. There's something we can't quite grasp, some crucial information that's lurking just out of reach, hidden, obscured, and waiting to be uncovered. And the information we can't yet see is exactly what will set off a chain reaction of sudden, shocking shifts that turn everything on its head. Expect drama, expect intensity, and expect the unexpected, because after this full moon, nothing will be the same. Which is why in this video, we're going to cover everything you need to know to navigate the upcoming full moon in Leo on February 12th, including a forecast for all 12 signs. But before we get into it, make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and share it with a friend who you feel like could benefit from knowing what's coming, knowing what's ahead, and navigating this energy more successfully. And comment below and let me know how you're doing around the time of this full moon in Leo. And don't forget to download your free Astrology 101 quick reference guide at the link down in the description below before you watch this video, so you can have an even deeper understanding of how these energies will impact you even more personally, even more specifically. My free Astrology 101 quick reference guide is designed to help you understand your birth chart, navigate your own placements, and utilize these free forecasts even more successfully so you can get a really nuanced reading for free every 2 weeks here on my YouTube channel. And if you are somebody who really wants to learn astrology, I also should mention that this is your last chance to get level 1 of the Cosmic Academy of Astrology at the current pricing. The price goes up by $400 at 11:59 p.m. at Mountain Standard Time on February 12th. And so you want to make sure that you take advantage of that if you're somebody who wants to learn how to weave everything together to understand the signs, planets, houses, aspects, the angles, the north and south nodes, some of the different asteroids. There's just so much that goes on in level 1 of the Academy. We're adding a ton of new content, especially Hellenistic astrology content that we're going to be weaving in. And so we're raising the price by $400. You can get that now. You can just join level 1, or you can join the full Academy for an even bigger discount. And just so you know, we have split the Academy into 6 levels. It used to be 4 levels. Now it's 6 levels, and you can purchase each individual level, so you can start right where you're at when it comes to your astrology level of knowledge, education, and what you're interested in. Level 1 is our full scope natal chart reading course, where you're going to learn how to give meaningful, accurate astrology readings that blow your clients, your friends, your family out of the water. Level 2 is all about transits and making predictions using transits. Level 3 is all about house rulerships, which is how you get freaky, accurate, nuanced, very detailed information about a person's life and experience through the birth chart. Level 4 is all about looking at monthly and annual information for predictions. So we're looking at solar returns, lunar returns, annual perfections, which is a Hellenistic timing technique, along with monthly perfections as well. Level 5 is our secondary progressions level. We're going to be really flushing that out and adding a ton of new content. So it's on sale right now, but as soon as we have all of the lessons added, all of the new lessons added, that price is going to double. So you're going to want to get that now. And then level 6 is our course on marketing, business, and consultation skills to help you build your own astrology career successfully without having to go through a lot of the problems and issues and troubleshooting that I had to go through, because I've already done it. So I'm going to teach you how to do this really successfully on your own. Again, all the information is down in the description below. I just wanted to let you guys know that if you want to get level 1 at the current price, this is your last chance to do it. After this, it's going up to reflect the value of what's in there, because this is its own course in and of itself. All right, so let's get into what's going on here with this full moon, because this is a significant full moon energy. It is a very disruptive, chaotic full moon energy. So we had Mercury go cazimi on February 9th. And so as you're watching this video, we're actually pre-cazimi, because this is coming out on the 8th. And so the cazimi happens at 5:08 a.m. on February 9th in Mountain Standard Time. And so it lasts for a couple hours before, a couple hours after, the entire period where Mercury is within 16 to 17 minutes of an exact conjunction with the sun. That is the cazimi. And it is a superior conjunction, which means that Mercury is going direct. So this is an indicator of some sort of external manifestation of information or something being revealed in terms of an understanding that is newfound, that is different about something that maybe has been plaguing us, or an issue where the solution has been occulted, right? Because Mercury's been burned by the sun. And so there's something here where there's information or insight or an important message that's been hidden from us. And we have this really potent moment on February 9th where something of importance can come into the forefront of our understanding, where we can rationally take that and do something with it. And it could literally be in the form of a message or a communication, incoming or outgoing, that becomes really important at that time. But this is something to make note of and to take hold of, especially if you're wanting to prepare your life, your brain, your nervous system, everything in your environment for what's coming up with this full moon. Because this full moon is happening right after that cazimi, just a couple days later, while Mercury is once again combust. And this combustion is interesting because the full moon, like the moon itself in Leo, is opposing Mercury combust in the sign of Aquarius. And when you have Mercury, when it's combust, it indicates that there is information that's being hidden, right? There's something mercurial that we cannot see. And with Mercury, it's very often information, communication, maybe words being said behind your back. We don't really know, like piece by piece, until we get into your chart for all 12 signs, exactly the context of this, which we will. But there's something here where the information isn't there. But if you're able to utilize that cazimi, there could be some clue, some insight, something that comes through or that happens that's really important, that kind of allows you to get ahead of this in some way, so it's not quite as shocking as it could be when the full moon really illuminates this situation that's going on here with the Mercury combust. And if you're interested in combust and cazimi planets, I do have a full video tutorial talking all about how to interpret combust and cazimi planets over on my channel. I released it a couple of weeks ago, so you can go back and watch that and get a deeper understanding. It's really going to help you understand what the heck is going on with this full moon, and also the Mercury cazimi on February 9th, and how to maybe utilize that a little bit more effectively. But basically the full moon illuminates, right? It's an illumination point, and it's on the opposite end of that cazimi, or that combust, that Mercury combustion. And so what's going on here is that there's something hidden, and something is being illuminated about what has been hidden. It's not that we can see the thing. It's not that we're going to be able to understand the thing. It's illuminating that there is something that we can't understand though. So what we do understand is that there's something hidden that we don't understand yet. That's what's being illuminated. It's like suddenly like, oh, I don't think I have all of the information. I don't think I fully understand what's going on here. I feel like there's a missing piece, or something's being obscured, or maybe even deliberately hidden from me by someone in my life very intentionally. And now I can see that. And something about this information is disruptive. Like there's something going on here where the fact that it's being hidden from me, the fact that I don't have all of the information, I haven't dotted all the T's and crossed all the, or dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, I don't have it all in a row. Something about that is leading to a massive change and a disruption, and maybe something really chaotic and earth-shattering that comes up and bubbles up with that full moon in Leo, because it's squaring Uranus in Taurus. There is a massive T-square, and Uranus is the change maker. You always have to expect the unexpected with Uranus being activated and involved in a full moon energy. Something will be revealed that is very unexpected. The reason it's so unexpected, the reason it's so disruptive, is because of that mercurial component where the information wasn't there, and it still isn't. We don't really understand fully on a rational level what the heck is going on or why this is happening. We just know that it's because there's something missing. There's a piece to the puzzle that we don't have. So this is a very interesting energy. I would expect that there could be some very wild changes coming in a lot of people's lives around this time, especially if you have a lot of fixed energy. Fixed energy are, the signs of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And so if you have sun, moon, rising in those signs, if you have a lot of different planets in that sign or in any of those 4 signs, which you can determine by downloading that Astrology 101 quick reference guide that I just mentioned, then this is going to be a more chaotic experience. This is going to be an experience where you really need to work on grounding and regulating your nervous system, and preparing to have to pivot, preparing to have to change, preparing for something to come up that you can't anticipate fully until it's already happening. So I always tell my actual in-person clients, when they have stuff like this coming up in their birth charts, like by transit, that this is a time to plan lightly. Like, yes, it's a time where change needs to happen. Yes, there's going to be a lot of action and activity, but don't add extra stuff to your plate around this time, because you're going to need wiggle room to make those really abrupt and dramatic changes, or to react or respond to the abrupt and dramatic changes that are coming to you externally. So it could be either or. Some of these might be, induced by you because there's a need for it. And some of the changes that are coming up right now are going to be like external, where you don't have control, but you're reacting, or you're having to sit and figure out what to do and respond to the situation. Again, this is going to be dependent on which rising sign you are. We're going to get into that in the forecast in just a second here. The final thing before we get into that forecast, though, that I do want to mention is that as we come into this full moon energy, Venus has just moved into the sign of Aries. And so Venus in Aries is a big player in the Venus retrograde that is going to be happening on March 1st. Next week, I'm going to have a video covering the entire Venus retrograde cycle. It's a long-term transit that's going to be impacting us for a few weeks. And so we really want to get into detail about this because it doesn't happen very often. It happens like once every couple of years. So I will have that for you, but just know that what's going on right now with Venus in the sign of Aries is that there is something here that we are moving into that is going to have to be like backtracked or redone or revised in some way. And so it's not fully formed. And often with Venus, these things that we have to kind of go back on and go back and forth with are related to Venusian types of themes. And so it could be something to do with a relationship, an agreement. It could have to do something with, or could have something to do with like money, finances, material possessions, pleasure of some kind. And so we'll get into this again in that next forecast, but I just want to mention that is something happening in the background at the time of this full moon in the sign of Leo. All right, so let's get into the forecast for all 12 signs, beginning, of course, with Aries and with Aries rising. Make my little thing bigger here so I can see. So for Aries and for Aries rising, this full moon is happening in your 5th house, which is the house of love, relationships. It's the house of more like romantic types of connections, love affairs, flings, sex and sexuality. This is a time where you might be feeling a little bit more romantic. You might be feeling a little bit more adventurous and wanting something new and exciting when it comes to your romantic endeavors. This would be a really great time actually to have some sort of fling, but you have to know that there's something that this person is hiding from you, or there's information about this person that you can't quite conceive and understand if this is something new for you. In a current relationship, again, it could be shaking things up in the bedroom or doing something really exciting on a romantic level, like going out in the town, having a really exciting date, doing something that you don't normally do with your partner. This is a great time for that at this full moon. But just know again that there's something hidden here, and you don't want to overspend because this could be disruptive to your finances. So it's great to go out for like, a nice romantic dinner or go out dancing or do something that you don't normally do, as long as it's not going to break your budget, because there is something that you're not quite seeing here financially. And there is potentially for Aries and Aries rising people, an unexpected financial hurdle that comes up that prevents you from connecting with your passions, your hobbies, your interests, the things that you love to do because you love to do them. But you can't quite see all of the information. It's like somebody in your life kept this information from you, or maybe it was unintentional, right? Like maybe they just didn't think to tell you, but there's information that somebody in your circle should have given you but didn't, and it causes a disruption to your finances, either through like an unexpected expense or maybe unexpected money coming in, but it's like disruptive in some way. There's something here where you have to pivot when it comes to your finances due to not having all of the information. And so that Cazimi period on February 9th, you might be able to get some of that information out of someone. It'll come from someone in your life, like in your social circle, in your network, maybe even in like a business networking group or something like that, or through the connections that you have with people, even online, like online platforms and online groups. But there's something here that's going to change, and that is going to disrupt your ability to do the things that you love to do, not permanently, but it's like a brief disruption where it's like, this is not fun. I was going to do this really awesome, beautiful thing. And, I was going to take this acting class or go to this concert or, do this thing with the person that I love. And now I can't do it because of this financial disruption or this blockage. It could also be that there is an unexpected expense that comes in related to your children that is because you didn't have the right information or you don't have still all of the information. So you're not quite sure why this is happening, but you do have to address it. And so it's, again, a temporary hurdle if that does happen, not the worst thing in the world, but it is something to be mindful of around the time of this full moon on February 12th for Aries and Aries rising. Then for Taurus and for Taurus rising, this full moon is happening in your fourth house, which is the house of home, family, property, and real estate. And you are a fixed sign. And I mentioned at the start of this video that fixed signs are going to be having way more disruption from this full moon. And it could be lasting disruption or ongoing disruption that has already started that is being exacerbated at the time of this full moon in the areas of your career, your public reputation, in the areas of home, family, property, real estate, in the areas of relationships, but especially disruption that stems from you shaking things up. The choices you're making, the changes you're making in your life can reverberate into causing disruption for your career and for your home and family life. There could be something that's being kept from you, kept hidden, like information that's really important involving your career, involving your work, involving something that you're putting out there into the world. It could even be that a boss or somebody in a position of authority is keeping something from you, and that causes a ripple effect that impacts what's going on behind the scenes, behind closed doors after work within your home or in your family life, or that causes a disruption to you personally where you have to create some sort of change or chaos in order to remedy or rectify the situation. And so that is the main thing to look out for Taurus. If this is the case, it's something that's been ongoing, so it shouldn't be as surprising to you. It's just kind of like, oh, this again, but it's like a new form of a disruption and this process of change that's been going on in these areas of your life for a few years now, probably. But it's like an exacerbation where all of a sudden you have to deal with something. Again, it shouldn't be like something that is detrimental for a really long time. This lasts for just a few days before, a few days after, and then you should be able to navigate and get over it once you've made the change you need to make. Then for Gemini and for Gemini rising. So for Gemini, this full moon is happening in your third house, which is the house of communication and community. I don't hate this because we have the full moon in a really beautiful sextile with your ascendant sun or moon, a very beautiful trine with your descendant if you are a Gemini rising sign. And so this mitigates a lot of the disruption. The disruption that's going on for you, Gemini, is more behind the scenes, behind closed doors. It's more internal and subconscious or unconscious. If there is physical disruption that's coming up, it's more coming from 12th house types of institutions. So if you have some sort of connection to like hospitals, rehabilitation centers, prisons, meditation, retreat centers, that type of thing, then there could be something disruptive that's bubbling from that and like reverberating out into your community or into your mind and your mental state, into your education in some way where there's a disruption or a hurdle to completing some sort of educational program or pursuit. But for the most part, this is not so bad for you. I actually really love this for maybe completing something, like maybe, there's a course that you took like online or in person or something like that where you never finished it. And all of a sudden, like you are out there and you're finishing it, right? You get this call. Like there's maybe some hidden information that you didn't have before that you are trying to extract from that course or from that material that is going to allow you to make a really important change to your mindset and to your trajectory. If you are someone who's traveling around the time of February 12th, so a few days before, a few days after, this could be a disruption to your travel plans where there's information that you're missing that you don't even know about at the time of the disruption, but then after the change happens to those travel plans, it makes sense. And so that could be a big part of this too, if you are somebody who's traveling. But again, this is something that will resolve itself after a few days. You are going to have to pivot and think on your feet, but don't allow this to overwhelm you. Just know that the reason that this is happening is not clear yet, but it will be clear and it will make more sense and have a greater meaning for you moving forward, like in a few weeks. So That's what's going on for Gemini. For Cancer and for Cancer rising. For Cancers, this full moon is happening in your second house of money, finances, material possessions. This is a disruption or a disruptive energy in the area of finance where there's something that's being revealed to you. It's like you thought you had all of the pieces, you thought you had all of the important and pertinent information when it comes to balancing your budget, making the investments, paying off debts. But then all of a sudden something disruptive happens and you realize that there is information that was really crucial that's been eluding you. And even as the disruption's happening, you're not going to have all of the information that you need, but you're going to still have to make those changes. And so you're going to have to respond to what's going on financially and make a little bit of a pivot. Some of those changes or some of that disruption could come from your social circle for some reason, or from your social networks or a group of people you surround yourself with by choice. If you are a business owner specifically, it could be a disruption to your your revenue, your sales revenue from your business that causes you to have to change something, and you're realizing that you didn't have all of the information you needed, and now there's this disruption. If that is the case, make sure that you give yourself some wiggle room, give yourself some space and some time to pivot. Don't panic, because this could be really intense on your nervous system. But know that you have to act even though you might not have all of the information, because a change needs to happen around the time of this full moon. And so it will all become clear, and it'll start to level out after the full moon, like a few days after, but there's kind of this boiling point around February 12th. For Leo and for Leo rising, this full moon is happening in your sign. Leo is in the spotlight, which is where you like to be normally, but right now you're in the spotlight for disruption. So there is something super interesting going on here in your chart, Leo, because it's you. You're the one that's illuminating something that's been hidden or information that has been kept from you in an important relationship. This could be a one-to-one partnership, like in a romantic partnership, in a marriage, but this could especially be information that has been kept from you, or that you haven't seen clearly or had the cognitive ability to understand fully, involving an important business contract and involving an important business connection one-to-one with somebody. There's something going on here where the information isn't all the way revealed, but you still have to make a change. And that change is coming from that area of career and public reputation as a result of the information that's being blocked from you that you still can't see fully, but you're the one revealing it. You're like, you are hiding something from me. You have kept this from me. You didn't give me all of the information. It's going to be more like that. And then that maybe accusation or that understanding, even if you don't point it out to the person, is going to lead you to change course when it comes to something going on externally in your career or in your legacy that you leave behind after, your working years. If you are somebody who's not working, there's definitely a big shift happening here, and all eyes will be on you in terms of bringing that to light and making the changes. This is something that is very self-directed. So it's not like something's happening to you. It's more like you are seeing that something needs to be revealed, and you're trying to extract that information so you can make the change that you need to make. And then for Virgo and for Virgo rising. For Virgo, this full moon is happening in your 12th house. This is the house of secrets and things that are kept hidden. This is the house of solitude. This is not a very externalized full moon for Virgo and Virgo rising people. This is a time to turn inward. This is a time to hide. This is a time to rest and just take some time to meditate, to contemplate, to pull yourself out of the busyness of day-to-day reality, because by doing that, you're going to realize that there's an important piece of information that has eluded you that you still can't quite see, but there's a change that you need to make to your belief system, to your mindset, to the information that's incoming, especially the bigger picture information that is crucial to unraveling what's going on here. It's like there's important information that you have needed when it comes to your health or your work and daily routines, or maybe even when it comes to the way you show up in service to somebody else in your life, if you work in a healing profession, even there's information here that's it's not all the way there. Like you just can't get it right now. Like you can't get all the information right now. And understanding that is going to be key, and you will start to feel what that is if you take some time out, like around the 5th or the 12th of February. So kind of a midweek break where you're taking a little bit of rest and reprieve, and something is being revealed to you. It's like it's being revealed that you don't know everything that you think you know. And then that's going to cause a very dramatic shift in your belief system about the world around you, God, the universe, your philosophies, your ideologies, your value systems. There could also be information involving your work that's been kept from you, or that you couldn't really comprehend or see clearly. And you're starting to understand that now, and it's going to impact future travel plans if that's something applicable to you, or your plans for gaining or obtaining higher education or additional education. So that's what's going on for Virgo. For Libra and for Libra rising, this full moon is happening in your 11th house, which is the house of friends, social networks, groups of people that you surround yourself with by choice. This is not the worst placement for this rather rocky and disruptive full moon for Libras. There's something here where it's mitigated by this connection to your ascendant, this connection to your descendant. If you are a Libra rising, even if you're a Libra sun or moon, the moon is going to be sextiling your sun or moon, and the sun is going to be trining your sun and moon. So what I'm trying to say here is that there's a way out. So if there's a disruptive factor coming in, especially when it comes to your finances and your social circle and your social connections around the time of this full moon, there is a way out. If you lean on somebody that you really trust, that you really care for, a partner, a spouse, a significant other, or a close friend or a close confidant, even if it's somebody who is like a close, maybe like a business coach or somebody who you can lean on, who like you talk through these things with, or a financial coach of some kind, or a financial advisor, then you're going to find a way out of whatever it is that's happening right now. But there is like information that isn't quite being revealed to you, that you can't see the whole picture with, that could cause a financial disruption of some kind. And some of this is related to your social connections for some reason. The other thing that is weird about what's going on here is that it's almost as if for some Libra rising people, there's information that's been kept from you involving your children, or your children have been keeping information from you and trying to hide something, and you still don't have all of the insight. You still don't have all of the information, but you do know that the disruption that's happening maybe on a financial level is stemming from that information that's been kept from you. But overall, outside of that, this is a really great time for you to connect with your passions. There's something hidden going on. There's like a hidden passion or a hidden hobby or a hidden interest that maybe you've been diving into, but you don't have all of the information yet to go all in. Now's a time where you might be able to make the social connections that will change things, so that way you can dive deeper into the things that you love and that bring you joy. And then for Scorpio and Scorpio rising, this full moon squaring Uranus is happening in your 10th house of career, public reputation, bosses, superiors, people who you look up to. This is also the legacy that you leave behind after your working years. And for Scorpio, you are again another one of those fixed signs that we talked about at the start of this video, which means that this full moon is likely to be much more disruptive for you than for some of the other signs. Lucky Scorpio. But the good news is that it's not going to last forever. So there's something going on here that's being revealed to you. There's like information that you don't have. Like it's like you want to have the information, and it's something to do with like your home, your property, a real estate investment of some kind. It's something to do maybe with your family or family dynamics. It could be that maybe a family member or your parents even are keeping secrets from you, or they didn't reveal information that was really pertinent or important to you, and now that's causing you to have to change something or pivot. It could be involving your home or your place of living where the information wasn't there and now you have it, and you're having to make an abrupt and disruptive change, especially if that change is in partnership with somebody else, like your spouse, significant other, or there could be a change that needs to be made to an important contract or an agreement involving your home, your property, and that's being revealed. There could also be something going on behind the scenes in your home and living situation or in your family situation where you don't have all of the information, and it's being illuminated in a way that is causing disruption to your career and your public reputation and your work life. And then again, there's something that has to be changed. There's some pivot that you need to make really abruptly. It might feel like really intense. It might feel like this is dire and it's just, really weighing on your nervous system, but it's not permanent. This is something where it's very intense, it's abrupt, and then the come down is kind of like, all right, I dealt with this, I made the changes, and now I'm starting to slowly see what this was all about. And so it's not going to last forever. This is really just a few days, but the repercussions of it last longer than that. But you're going to be glad that you made the change while the intensity was there, because it's going to be done, right? And so hopefully that makes sense. And then for Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, this full moon is happening in your 9th house, which is the house of travel. It's the house of beliefs. It's the house of your higher wisdom and higher educational pursuits. And so this energy is kind of interesting for Sagittarius, not the worst for Sagittarius. The moon is going to be trining your ascendant sun or moon, and the sun will be sextiling your ascendant sun or moon. And so this is a beautiful energy where you're able to kind of pull yourself out of whatever chaos and disruption is happening through your mindset, through your belief systems, through your values, through relying on your integrity, right? So acting out of integrity is going to be the way to go, especially when you don't have all of the information that you need to make the right decision. So acting out of integrity and acting from a space of knowing what you value and connecting with those values moving forward. Uranus is in the 6th house. There could be a disruption that comes, like maybe you have some sort of plans for travel or some plans for a higher educational pursuit or some plans for like teaching, even if that's applicable to you. And there's something going on in the area of health or day-to-day work, day-to-day life that is disrupting your ability to fully embrace what's going on there. And the reason that this is happening is not fully clear, like you don't have all of the information about it. There also could be something where you don't have all the information about like your community, your neighbors, your neighborhood. There's something going on in your immediate environment where it's revealed that there's something happening, but it's also revealed that there's information that's been kept from you or that you don't fully have. And that could cause some sort of disruption as well. But as long as you are directing and guiding this, again, from a place of integrity, you're going to be able to navigate this very easily. Then for Capricorn and Capricorn rising. For Capricorn, this energy of the full moon is happening in your 8th house, which is the house of psychological issues. It's the house of fear. It's the house of anxiety that stems from past experiences that are holding control over you in the present moment by dictating your behavior. And so there is something going on here where there could be a fear that's bubbling up, especially around your finances, but you don't have all of the information just yet. And so there's really nothing to be afraid of because it's not fully formed. Like you don't actually know what's going on. And that could actually be what's causing a little bit of fear. Like there's maybe a financial disruption or a pivot that you need to make or a change or a big purchase, and you don't have all of the details. And that could be something that could feel kind of scary or anxiety provoking. If that is the case, just know that not the end of the world, right? Not the end of the world. There is help. Definitely spending time at home, in solitude, seclusion, like that type of thing could be very healing for you. So there's also this energy too that I didn't mention with the moon trining Chiron. And in your particular circumstance, this could be a powerful time of like healing through past wounds, past insecurities, past vulnerabilities, past shame, past trauma related to your family of origin, relating to your early childhood experience, related to your home life. This could be a really important time where something comes up, especially if there was like financial trauma in your early childhood that causes you to kind of change your beliefs about these types of things, that causes you to have to go through a process of healing so that way you can unlock better wealth potential for yourself moving forward. But there is a change that you need to make maybe with your investments or with a debt or money that you owe someone where the information isn't quite there, but you still have to act on it and make that change. And you might have to pivot again because you don't have all the information. But the important thing is that there is a change that needs to happen financially around that time of February 12th. And you'll be glad that it's kind of done when it's over with. It's kind of like it hits this intensity and then it's like, oh, okay, that's over. And then for Aquarius and Aquarius rising, this full moon is happening in your 7th house, which is the house of relationships, especially marriage partnerships. So your spouse, significant other, any close one-on-one relationships with anyone really fall into that 7th house category. And so this is an energy with this full moon where there's something you've been keeping from someone else in your life. This is your fault. And so they are going to reveal to you, like your partner or somebody else in your life will reveal to you that there is something that they don't know about you or that they don't have when it comes to important information that you've either intentionally kept secret or you've unintentionally glossed over and you haven't quite put it out there, but you're not going to fully understand what that is. This could lead to a big disruption or an argument or a disagreement in that relationship. This could also be a disruption or disruptive energy around family relationships and one-on-one connections in the home, especially, or contracts and agreements within the home, where there is something that hasn't been said that needs to be said that still won't be said until after probably Mercury starts to become more visible a little while from now, a couple weeks from now. But there is like the need to change or shift something, and it's resulting from the information that you haven't given a really important, really close person in your life. And that's going to come out. And it might not be intentional. This could be something that, again, you didn't think to tell them, or you didn't think was important, or maybe you didn't have all the information to give to them, but you're getting blamed for it. This will reach its peak around February 12th, and then it'll start to unravel and dissipate. You are going to have to make some changes to the relationship as a result of that. There could also be changes that need to be made in the home as a result of what's being revealed, maybe about a contract even. And so all of those things are possible, but again, not going to last forever. It's like this period of abrupt disruption and then it kind of dissipates. And then finally, for Pisces and for Pisces rising. For Pisces rising, this full moon is happening in your 6th house, which is the house of health, work, and daily routines. There is something that is hidden very literally. Like for Pisces, I feel like there is a secret, because the 12th house is the house of secrets and hidden enemies. There is a secret that's being kept from you, or there is something being said behind your back that you are not aware of. And this is something that's very crucial to your day-to-day work experience. It could be crucial to your health, and maybe there's hidden information that's not being revealed to you that's pertinent to your health, if that's applicable to you, where maybe there's a diagnosis that you're trying to receive and it's just eluding you and you can't quite figure out what's wrong. You're going to understand where or why that missing information hasn't come, or who is keeping it from you if that is the case. But the main thing I would say for most Pisces people, especially if you're somebody who's working or owns a business or works with other people, there's something going on here where either a coworker or an employee or multiple employees are hiding information from you, or they are talking behind your back or keeping something secret, where it's going to come out and this is going to be very disruptive, and there could be some very disruptive communication. And even when it's revealed to you that there's something being kept from you, that information that you need, you're not going to fully see the whole picture or have all of the information yet, but you're still going to have to address it and change something about your work relationships or the work that you're doing or your day-to-day work routines and projects as a result of that. And so that's going to be really important as well. I would say that for Pisces rising people around February 12th, so a few days before and a few days after, this is going to be an especially busy time for you because there's a lot of activity. It's kind of like you've been turning inward and, you've been focusing a little bit more internally, and all of a sudden there's just a flurry of activity in your day-to-day life where you're having to address it. It feels really chaotic and there's a lot of communication coming in, and some of it is only half of the story. And so that's what's going on for Pisces. And that, you guys, is my forecast for all 12 signs. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this forecast, like the video, subscribe to my channel. I do a new video or forecast every single Saturday at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and you don't want to miss that. Comment below and let me know how this is impacting you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.